people all over the nation, we've had enough of like the liberals, man. Like what they've did, like they always like lied to us, and
we can't have these liberals anymore. That's why I'm here. And the corruption, all the scandals they had, that's my number one thing.
Would you say you're voting for Mark Carney too?
I already did.
And can you tell me why you voted for Mark Carney? You know, what are some policies?
Knows what he's doing. He knows how to control the government. He just knows his shit. He knows what he's doing. Like, and we need someone that's going to lead this country. Not
the big thing with this election is fiscal responsibility. He's got a policy that for every dollar spent is a dollar saved, and that is extremely important.
And we know Pierre Poilievre has been a politician his whole career. So in your opinion, do you feel like that gives Pierre Poilievre an advantage on winning this election?
What we need to do as the black community, we got to get out there and vote blue.
With everything you have seen change in this country, whether it be for the good or bad, we know a lot of things have changed in this country. Just like you said your parents came here because they wanted a better life. Yeah. Coming from your own opinion, do you feel like the Canadian dream is still alive? Ladies and gentlemen, today we are in Vaughan, Ontario. As you can tell by the title, this is gonna be another political episode. I hate to say this, guys, but in today's video, this was actually my last Pierre Poilievre rally I attended to. I had to go to this one because I was getting DMs left and right saying, Dimani, you gotta come out to the Vaughan rally. So I just want to say shout out to everyone I met at the Vaughan rally. You guys are amazing. It was nice seeing some of you guys in person, meeting. You know how it goes. I love seeing my supporters. I love meeting you guys in person. Sometimes I just forget, like, it's not just numbers. There's actually people out there that really support me. So shout out to you guys watching this video as well, and to the people I met at the rallies and my previous rallies in Hamilton, Windsor, Kitchener, Brampton, and now Vaughan to close it off. So mes amis, by the time you guys are actually watching this video, I'm back on the road. I'm hitting up cities and towns just like how I did originally when I got into these political videos. Because I know for those who are new to my channel, you were probably watching all the rallies I was attending to and making the little interviews. But before this, I was actually hitting up cities and towns, going all over Ontario. So once again, by the time you guys are watching this video, I'm back on the road. After all, I got 5 more days to pump these videos. So I'm trying my best to hit up as many cities and towns. Keep an eye out. You might see me in the street. I might be in your neighborhood or in your area. So hey, just keep an eye out. So enough of the yapping. Before we get into this video, just like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of many political videos I'll be dropping on my channel. So if you like my work and you want to support me with what I'm doing, the best way to show it is by subscribing to my channel if you're not subscribed, and also liking this video. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel to grow a lot.
It's disgraceful as a Jewish person myself. This is the only candidate that has Israel's back. This is disgraceful how the woke mob shows up to try to take away our freedoms and liberty. And Mark Carney is doing nothing about it.
No, I love Canadians, and these assholes are coming up here talking about Hamas this, Hamas that. Dude, he's a terrorist supporter, bud.
These guys are one thing, but another thing is like we can't have these liberals anymore. That's why I'm here. And the corruption, all the scandals they had, that's my number one thing. Having homes, especially my young girls, I want them to own a home one day. You know, I own a small business. I want that to prosper and not be taxed to death. Those are my main things.
Could you tell us why, you want to see the conservatives step in there?
Well, first of all, the young people like you guys, unfortunately, I've done well for myself, which is a good thing. But for young people, I'm looking at them and their kids so that they can have a brighter future, buy a home, pay less taxes, afford to live. That's the key. So it's the future's in you guys.
What do you think about the fact that, last year in 2024, they were burning the Canadian flag? What do you think about the fact that, we're burning the Canadian flag?
It's disgusting. Like, you want to say it's a symbol of death to the country you're living in. Actually,
that is facts.
So,
do you feel like it should be illegal, just burn the Canadian flag?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're taking the flag down, even if you're just lowering the flag to burn it, even on other people's property, it's vandalism, and it should be illegal. It should be criminal.
The main thing for me in Canada right now, we have all these resources. We're one of the biggest lands. and the people here are struggling. They're not striving. You have all these resources. We need to put it to use. So the people are striving, and we got more jobs. People shouldn't be going to food markets and stuff, struggling to get
Food banks, yeah.
food banks. People need to be striving. We need to bring back jobs, bring back investments, use the oil, use the resources, and start striving. People my age, we can't afford to buy a house. We can't afford to pay rent. We can't afford many normal things, cars, groceries. These things have to change. It can't continue like this. So we need a change. And we need something to be better. That's my main thing in this election coming up.
What makes you so excited to see Pierre Poilievre step in there and make a change?
It's long overdue in regards to that. 10 years of liberal bureaucracy. We were warned about Trudeau 10 years ago, and we are starting to see how horrible our country is, how upsetting our life has become. We're paying too much for rent. It's tough to own a home, get a job just from recently graduating, like a good paying job that you can make a living off of.
Would you say life has been harder for some Canadians to live in this country throughout these years with the Liberals being in power?
Yes, of course.
And on a scale from 1 to 10, how has that affected you?
As a recent graduate myself, I'm been tirelessly looking. The job market's been really bad. Unemployment rates are up. We're nearly heading into a recession, and I feel like we're paying more than we've earned in taxes.
All the hostages that come back from Israel that are Palestinian are always destroyed, damaged, mental health problems, fingers cut off. Everything's wrong with them. But when their hostages go back to Israel, they're perfectly fine. They're well taken care of. They don't want to leave Hamas because they see how Hamas treats them. They treat them good. They give them medication. They feed them. So I don't know what propaganda they're spewing over there. That's all I gotta say. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, if you know me ask, what do you think about Pierre Poilievre,
I think he is a white fascist colonizer.
That's what you think?
Yeah, I voted Liberal.
Can you educate me? I want to understand, I'm a young guy, I just want to understand.
He's gonna end up voting. He's gonna end up deporting all these people. You can ask her more.
The policy of Trump, Pierre's policy compared to Trump's policy is the same. Exact the same policy. He wants to do whatever Trump does. So if you read the same policy of what Pierre Poilievre does, then he does the same thing.
So you feel like Pierre Poilievre, if he steps in there, he's going to deport them. He's just like Trump, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
Women's rights will be gone.
Say that again?
Women's rights will be gone completely.
And indigenous rights is going to be gone too.
When did Poilievre say that he's going to take women's rights? I want to know.
He said it. He said it.
At a press conference, Pierre Poilievre said that he's going to take women's rights away. Like he said, I'm going to take women's rights away.
Yes, he did.
Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. And if you guys look at it, one of his MP disrespect the indigenous community. About regarding the residential school.
Yeah.
That's the first history that everyone in Canada needs to learn. The history of what Canada did to the residential school.
Yeah.
And Aaron God disrespected the indigenous community.
And who do you guys want to see step in there for this upcoming election?
Mark Carney.
Can you tell me why Mark Carney? Why do you think that?
Because Mark Carney is more journalistic. They're more for the people compared to
Pierre Poilievre.
So trust me, Pierre Poilievre does not care about the Canadians. He would sell them just like that.
No Canadian values at all. None. No Canadian values.
Would you say you're voting for Mark Carney too?
I already did.
And can you tell me why you voted for Mark Carney? What are some policies?
Knows what he's doing. He knows how to control the government. He just knows his shit. He knows what he's doing. And we need someone that's going to lead this country, not tear it down to the ground.
Well, the reason why I want to see the Conservatives stepping up is because the people all over the nation, we've had enough of the Liberals, man. What they've did, they always lied to us and just all the time just keep on making promises. but like never actually preaching what needs to be preached. And like with Pierre Poilievre, like he preaches what needs to be preached, and he's preaching how we can fix like our country and bring it back from the brink of like losing it. Because like with Mark Carney, man, like there's no hope for Canada to survive under Mark Carney. But with Pierre, like he's the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution, man.
I think it's fairly obvious that Pierre Poilievre won. I think Mark Carney, you know, he came across the way he always does, which was a little bit slippery. He dodged the questions. You know, he looked very uncomfortable at times. He wouldn't look Pierre Poilievre in the eye. Pierre would look down the barrel, like into the camera, and then he would look back at Carney when he was addressing specific issues. I think, you know, there were a few really good gotcha moments from Pierre as well. The one at the end, in particular, when Carney had one opportunity to ask a question to the opposition, and he asked him the question about the security clearance, which has been debunked so many times, and then Pierre just completely reversed it on him and brought up the issue of the gag order and the Chinese interference and everything. And you know, that was one of the best kind of Uno reverse cards that I think I've ever seen in a political debate.
Big thing with this election is fiscal responsibility. He's got a policy that for every dollar spent is a dollar saved, and that is extremely important. If you can't have reckless spending and money printing, you're just going to have wild inflation will ensue. So
Okay, why did you vote for the Conservatives? Coming from a young, you know, Gen Z.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm voting for like my younger siblings and also my parents as well. Because my parents, they came from India like 15 years ago. And we came here because like of all the promises. We don't want like how India is, because it's not good for females there, you know, it's not a lot of opportunities for females. But now it's kind of like similar with the crime. My sister, she has to be wary of going on like the bus to Toronto because of all the crime. My younger siblings, like they try to find jobs, they can't find jobs. And my parents are struggling with, you know, the mortgage and stuff. So it's like all these issues that we were trying to run away from are coming back. They're creeping back. And the first 10 years were amazing being here, but now it's creeping back. I just want some change, and I feel like Carney seems a little like he doesn't seem like a real person. Like he seems like he's like a puppet. Pierre, though, he seems like he's actually knowledgeable about politics. That's all I want. Someone to do their job.
I've been watching your videos for pretty much a year. When I seen the video of Pierre, when I seen the video of, you know, the emotions that you had when Pierre called you, it really touched me, man. This is one of the reasons why I'm voting for Pierre. Conservative government, common sense, voting blue, right? I just want to say, man, that what we need to do as the black community, we got to get out there and vote blue, right? Think about it. The liberals have done nothing for the black community. The liberals have done nothing for the white community. The liberals have done nothing for the brown community. They have done nothing but raise taxes on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta come in and say, you know what? Enough is enough, right? You're bad for us. We want something good for us. And I think Pierre Poilievre has got the good message and he's got a plan. I read his plan today. His plan makes sense, right? Like his plan is lower taxes, access to housing, right? I think common people, you know? So yeah, man, I think that's what we need to do, man. And I've been watching from afar and I'm like, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by you and I'm impressed by what's going on here. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, you know, step for the Gen Zs, you know.
Yeah, that's good, man. And you know what, man? Brother to brother, I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you, man. Right?
You know, for the black community too, the youngins out there.
That's it.
That's why I do what I do.
Yeah. You know, you stepped up and you said, you know what? I'm going to put my hat into the ring and I'm going to see what's going on. And you did a good job.
You know, hypothetically speaking, let's say if Pierre Poilievre was watching this video. He might be actually, because he usually watches them.
Okay.
So what's a message you have for him?
Pierre Poilievre, I voted for you yesterday. And I know when you become Prime Minister of Canada, you're going to do a good job, a great job, actually. And so I say thank you for, you know, shifting and actually spotlighting the lies of the liberals for the last 10 years. That's the biggest thing I think is very important. So I thank you for that.
Well said, brother. What's your name?
Certified.
Certified. Appreciate it, brother.
Okay, bro.
We know a lot of things have changed in this country. Just like you said your parents came here because they wanted a better life.
Yeah.
Coming from your own opinion, do you feel like the Canadian dream is still alive?
Oh, by the way, you do a good job with the interviewing, just letting you know.
Really?
Yeah, it's really professional. Okay, so the Canadian dream is still alive because, like, look at everyone here. Like, everyone's been so nice. And everyone is very, like, they're looking for, like, progress, you know? So, like, with everyone here, it seems like there's definitely gonna be a change if, you know.
It's gonna be able to afford again.
Yeah, pretty much. I think everyone is actually pretty like-minded. We just have to find those similarities. Yeah. So I think we have a good future. It's still alive. Yeah.
Well said. And what's one message you have for the Gen Zs watching this video? After all, for this election, we know we matter a lot for this election.
Yeah.
We gotta come out. So what's the message you have for them?
Just vote and be informed, because, like, don't just be on TikTok for your news or just, like, about anything. Just put your phone down, just, like, look around you, just talk to people and see what the reality actually is, because then you figure out, like, what is important. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just be aware and be smart about what you consume.
Carney's on the record talking about, because, you know, he used to be like a career corporate lobbyist.
Yeah.
What he used to do was he used to influence governments to pass policies which would then actually be bad for the people, but they would benefit his investments or his company's investments. And so insofar as you can block resource projects in Canada, if the companies or if those back grifts have investments in competing areas like pipelines in Saudi Arabia, USA, heat pumps, we've seen stuff like that as well. Green, you know, we've looked at the packaging laws as well, green packaging. If they invest in that and then they force our government to get rid of plastic packaging, that actually gives them a competitive advantage, which is being top-down legislated, right? So I actually think it's a grift. They have that going on in the background. Now, to the point about, like, raising wealth, about raising funds for the government. Yeah, there are two ways to do it. You can tax people into oblivion, but then they have less money to spend, which means less money into the economy, which means less tax revenue from jobs and from wages and stuff. Or you can unleash the economy, and then you have more companies, you have more jobs, you have more tax revenue coming from the employment, coming from the prosperity. Prosperity breeds wealth, it breeds strength, and wealth breeds more revenue. That's the conservative plan. It's a rising tide floats all boats, right? We all get rich, including the government, and that's better for everyone.
Well said. What's your name, sir?
My name's Caleb.
Hey guys, you guys spitting facts. So Caleb, my last question for you.
Yeah.
With everything I've seen change in this country, whether it be for the good or bad, you know, based off on what you have seen on social media, or even from what you have experienced, because we know a lot of Canadians have been, you know, they've been through a lot, especially, you know, after the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, do you truly believe that the Canadian dream is still alive and there's still hope for the young Canadians out there?
I don't believe the Canadian dream is currently alive. I think it's dead. It has been dead for a while under the Liberal government, but I do believe in hope. That's why I'm here right now. The theme of this whole campaign is hope. And, you know, we've got a week left, and I think this may be possibly our last chance to turn it around, but insofar as we can get a conservative government, I think we can turn it around, and I have a very bright hope for the future if we do.
Like, for us Gen Z people, it's up to us to make them realize and to bring them out of that darkness that keeps them of supporting Mark Carney and, like, all those liberal demons.
We know that Mark Carney has actually never been a politician, and we know Pierre Poilievre has been a politician his whole career. So in your opinion, do you feel like that gives Pierre Poilievre an advantage on winning this election?
That gives him, like, the most advantage that you can get, because with him actually climbing up the ranks and being the leader of the Conservative Party, compared to, like, Mark Carney, who was literally just the Bank of England, and then like for Governor Banks of different European countries, and then suddenly steps in as, like, the unelected prime minister. Like, I don't see it. I can't connect the dots.
Coming from your own opinion, based off on what you have seen or experienced, what will be your biggest fear if the Liberals get re-elected for this upcoming election?
probably my biggest fear, like I said, more inflation, more job loss, and more crime too. So I don't agree with their soft on crime, bail policies. It's out of control at this point. And then they're going after the wrong people on the other end. They're going after the farmers, hunters, sports shooters, gun collectors. You're going after the wrong people. These people are the most responsible, vetted, trusted, trained, true people that you can.
My entire class was immigrants, right? And that's the way Canada was. We weren't polarized. We weren't divided. We were a country that took immigration as just the way it is. The country, like you said, the country's built on immigrants. We weren't divided. We were all together. We loved immigrants. We love immigration. But the system was done in such a way that we were able to bring people in and integrate them into the Canadian society. It didn't put a burden on our healthcare. It didn't put a burden on our housing. We had the resources to give them the energy and the time to make sure that they were properly integrated into Canadian society, so that we all shared those Canadian values. I think that's what's broken. It's not like the immigrants. They're not to blame. The system is to blame. We opened the doors too wide. We brought in too many people. We didn't support them the way that we were supposed to, and now they're taking the heat for the government's failure. This election is about you. This is about the future of the country. This is not about me. I'm not a boomer or anything, but I'm not a Gen Z. It's about you guys. You're the ones who have the outlook for the next 10, 15, 20 years. You're the ones who are going to be the future of this country. And so this election is about you. So get out there and exercise your right to vote. There's no do-overs. In 4 years, if things get way worse, if you can't afford a home, if you can't get proper health care, if you can't afford groceries, if you look back and go, man, I wish I would have voted, there are no do-overs. So just get out there, vote, take back your future. That's all I gotta say.
Well said. I like that. Hey, that touched me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. I got here late. I don't really have that much to say. It was a good event. People were good. I was thinking about, originally the plan was for me to get here early and actually shoot a video in the city and then come to the rally. But let's just say that we had some malfunction. Let's just say that, malfunction. Il y avait un problème, basically. Il y avait un problème. So I think the video still turned out to be pretty good. The energy was here. The people were here. The message was clear. And it seems like a lot of people were happy. All right. That's all.